Guys, this next comic, local, coming straight from Warwick, New York, Mr. Jordan Freed.
What's up, guys? Thank you, Mattingly's, for having me. It's such an honor to be at Mattingly's. I always wanted to be a baseball player, but unfortunately I was born with the body of a jockey. But now here I am for you guys. No, like, I wanted to be a baseball player so bad that when I was in 6th grade, for Halloween, I just dressed up in my Little League uniform. You know, something I would have been doing on a Wednesday night anyway. But I was like, oh, like, that would be a great costume. I'm gonna be a baseball player. This is great. So before I went trick-or-treating, I went to the front yard with my brother, and I was like, oh, we should play some wiffle ball. And then my brother hit a fly ball, and I went tracking back on it, going. I tripped over the curb, break my fall with my wrist, and then broke my wrist, along with the fall. But then I got rushed to the emergency room, and I had to explain to them, yeah, I got injured playing baseball. No, like fake baseball. No, this is for Halloween. No, I'm not a real baseball player. Well, I am a real baseball player. Well, I want to be a real baseball player. But I was playing wiffle ball at the time of the accident. I knew the whole time, though, that I was never going to be a baseball player. My only other athletic endeavors were Taekwondo. Growing up in Warwick as a Jew, I had to learn self-defense to defend me from the pennies being thrown at me for being a Jew. No, it was like, it's terrible. Like, you guys know it, they graffitied swastikas on the Jewish cemetery, they got the skate park with Hail Hitler. They don't want the Jews to skate or die. But I love my hometown. I'm prideful about Applefest, obviously. I went off to college and was like bragging about Applefest to people, and then somebody was like, oh, like, I'm from Indiana. We have an Applefest too. And then I went to Indiana and I killed their Applefest. There's only one Applefest and it's ours. No, but like, you know you're authentic if like all of your friends worked at the orchards. You know, I had one friend, he went off to college, and he was trying to get a job at the gym at his college, and they asked him for a reference, but he only knew his boss as Johnny Appleseed. The guy didn't even give him his real name, so he just had to write down Johnny Appleseed on the application. When they asked for the reference number, he just told them to speak to the trees. I was home recently and saw a sign that confused me as somebody who's from Warwick. I saw a sign while I was driving, and it said self-serve ground beef. Which confused the fuck out of me. Like, does that mean that I have to shoot the cow myself? Or is there like a trough full of ground beef that I have to back my pickup truck into and snow shovel out in order to get it? Needless to say, I'm a vegan now. It took a long time though. I had to be vegan curious at first, you know? I had to start out with the nut cheeses, the oat milks, you know? And also, I was a selfish vegan, you know? I had intense stomach issues. Like, I would drink milkshakes my whole life and just diarrhea everywhere afterwards. And I just thought that's how milkshakes were for everyone. I was just like, oh yeah, see you later guys, like, great having ice cream with you. See you next time at Dairy Swirl, okay, cool. So, I was selfish, you know? I didn't care that I was hurting animals, except myself, you know? And I also heard that it was like bad for the environment to be using animal products. I don't know how true that is, but once again, I'm pretty selfish, you know? Once it starts destroying my home, I'm like, oh, maybe I should change what I'm doing out here, you know? I was very vegan curious for a long time. I had to have all those meat substitutes. You guys have those? They have it on the menu here. The Impossible Burgers, the Beyond Burgers. They have everything now. Just the other day, I was trying the Impossible Human. Have you guys tried it? It tastes like the real thing. I think they have like beets and like coconut oil to like make it bleed, just like you like it, you know? No, it's really good. You guys should definitely try it. Oh, are you guys gluten-free? You guys eat the Beyond Human? Okay. Try the Beyond Human, it's gluten-free. I'm also zero waste. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know anything about this. I just stopped throwing out my garbage in my house. Because it's good for the environment. Like, where do you think it goes when you guys throw it out? It goes to a landfill.
New Jersey.
Yeah, maybe. That's where I live. Yeah, the Garden State. Plant the trash and then the flowers grow. It's good. I used to think, like, I moved to New Jersey, which, like, living in Warwick, you're always on, like, the borderline of New Jersey, you know? Like, you feel, I don't know, you feel like you're above New Jersey, because you are above New Jersey, you know? And then eventually, like, my girlfriend convinced me to move to New Jersey, and then they legalized weed, and I was like, oh, Garden State, I like it. And then you guys were following straight behind. Like, you guys couldn't legalize weed while I was here. You guys had to wait until I left. Not cool at all. But yeah, I basically had all of my garbage just piling up in my house because I am environmentally friendly, and you guys are not. I also decide to recycle. I'm donating my organs after I die because it's good for the environment. Somebody else is going to get to use them after me, you know? As you guys can tell, I'm very fashion conscious also, by my sweatshirt. I actually designed some of my own fashion. I'm not wearing it right now. I like to spill food and drink on my shirts. And then all of a sudden it's a trend. I don't know what to do about it. No, I am creative. I went to college for the arts. I majored in digital media production, which, like, if you guys don't know what that means, it's just a really fancy way of saying unemployment. Yeah, like, it sucks. Like, all of my friends from college are doing really ambitious things. Like, I know one person who started a nonprofit where they're taking convicted felons and they're giving them jobs to get them reacquainted with society. I know another friend from college who's at a nonprofit where they're suing Nazis. So I decided to start my own nonprofit. It consists of me smoking weed for 6 hours a day, watching Netflix, and eating a whole box of Mike and Ike's. We haven't made any money yet. It's okay, it's a non-profit. It's good. I graduated from college about a year ago. It's about a year ago, because now it's 4. I went to school in New Orleans, which was a very, very good experience coming from Warwick, a very different place. Living there for 4 years, I feel like I straddled kind of being a tourist and a local, you know? Like, crazy shit would happen while I was down there. Like, one time, my girlfriend invited me to a concert, and, like, as I got downtown, I realized that it was the Dick Parade. Like, there was an entire parade with life-size dicks and vaginas just going down the French Quarter of New Orleans. And then, of course, once I finally found my girlfriend in the bar, she was like, oh, we've had enough, bye. So then I was just, like, left at this bar to watch music with my friend who I went all the way downtown with, and I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna watch this concert. And we enjoyed it for a little bit, got some drinks, and then eventually my friend looked over and he saw a PBR sign that was not connected to anything. And he decided, we're gonna steal that. And I was like, all right, man, like, whatever you say, like, it's a crazy night, let's see what happens. So he grabs the sign and he's like, cover me. He puts it behind his back and I'm like grinding on him outside of this bar to get this PBR sign that lights up out of this bar. And then eventually we get by the bouncer, we're like, hey man, like glad you're not against gay people because you would be saying something about us being too close to each other right now. And then we got out onto the French Quarter and we were free. We had this massive PBR sign and like to this day it's still in my apartment. But the night wasn't over because like the night can't just end, you know? It has to keep going because we were drunk and we wanted to get home. So we walked a little bit further and all of a sudden some guy bumped into me and he was like, yo man, you want to buy some Coke? And I was like, no, like I don't think so. I'm just trying to get home. And he was like, okay. And I was like, but do you have weed? And he was like, yeah man, I got some weed. And he ends up selling me weed in garbage bags, like miniature garbage bags, which was a good metaphor for how the weed was. It was very garbage weed from the street dealer that I got it from. And then my friend was way ahead of me, so I caught up with him, and eventually we were looking for a cab, but people were lined up for blocks because the dick parade just ended. And then all of a sudden, some local guy just came up to us in a van, and he was like, hey, we'll take you uptown for $20. And we were like, yeah, $20 seems like a good cab fare right now. So we got in, and all of a sudden, a bunch of drunk guys just threw their drunk friend into the car, and they were just like, she's a teacher, she has to teach tomorrow, get her home! We were like, what? Like, you don't know who we are. We're just going up to Tulane right now. Like, what the fuck? So we got into the car, and the guy slams the door, and we're going uptown, and the guy's like, I'm not a cab driver, I just drive a cab. And we're like, what does that mean? Like, this is an unmarked van, dude. And he's like, hey, reach into my glove compartment. So, like, I'm naive. I reach into his glove compartment, and I pull out this sheet of paper that has drawings on it. And he's like, any of you guys have good handwriting? And I'm like, no. My other friends are like, no. And then the drunk girl in the back is like, I do. So then I hand her the poster, and he starts reciting scripture from the Bible, and we're like, whoa, man, this is a little intense. We're just trying to get home. And he's like, no, you gotta go to this. I've been making this flyer up for people. I want them to come to my event. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden, the teacher was just like, I'm right over there. And he just dropped her out. And I was like, what? How did she just find her way home? What? All right, so then we got rid of her, and then all of a sudden, my friends are just stuck with this weird cab driver guy, and he's like, y'all ever been to Jazz Fest? And we're like, yeah, Jazz Fest is great. Like, I like that they let you wear cargo shorts and you can sneak in your bowl. Yeah, man. And he's like, I went to Jazz Fest once. Dave Matthews Band, best concert of my life. And I was like, oh, Dave Matthews Band, he was at the Jazz Fest that I was at too. So once we got back to my college dorm, I was like, hey man, like, do you want to smoke weed in my dorm bathroom and like listen to some Dave Matthews? And he obliged. He came up and he was smoking weed and listening to Dave Matthews, and then all of a sudden one of my roommates came in and he was like, who the fuck is this 56-year-old man that you just invited into our dorm? Like, you can't just invite strangers from New Orleans into our dorm. And I was like, fuck you, you're in a frat. You invited your frat brothers to the dorm? This guy's my new brother. And that's what it's like to live in New Orleans as a local, guys. It was a very good experience, you know, crazy shit happens. One time, I saw somebody who was obviously a tourist. They were at a Mardi Gras parade, and all of a sudden, they got hit by a car. And I was like, oh my God, that's horrific. Like, somebody needs to help her. And then all of a sudden, she got up off the ground and just flashed everybody in the street. And I was like, that is some tourist shit. Nobody who lives in New Orleans would ever do that. That is some dumb shit. Thank you, Mattingly, so much. It's been really fun. I like you guys a lot more than Slattery's and McGovern's. It's the third Pokemon form.
Jordan Freed, everybody.
Yep.